Welcome back, guys, to our final game for the evening for SLTV Star Series 11 China Group Stages. It's Immortal Magneto Gaming up against Invictus Gaming. I'm Basskip here joining you guys on Beyond the Summit. It's great to be here for some more coverage and looking forward to our final match of the evening to get you guys up to speed to anything that you may have missed. The result of the previous match, Speed CN versus HGT, was a victory going the way of HGT. Other results you can probably find around the place, so I won't spoil them just in case there's somebody who wants to go back and find those matches. In terms of overall standings for these two teams, we currently have Invictus Gaming with a 0-2 overall scoreline. Bottom of the charts, 8th place, needs some wins. Cannot stress that enough. Meanwhile, Immortal Magneto, one rung above them at 1 and 3. This is truly the bottom. This is truly the battle of the bottom two teams, and we'll see who can start to make a slow climb out as we get through this match. Immortal Magneto so far have played. Well, who do they have left to play? Let's have a look at that. So they have Lai, LGD. And that's it. Lai, LGD, and Invictus Gaming. So if they can somehow sweep, then I think they keep the dream alive, since the top wins at the moment are Vici with 4-1 and CDEC at 4-3. But definitely a difficult road ahead of them. But we won't look too far ahead. We'll look straight to our draft right now. We've got Invictus Gaming banning out a Razor and a Skywrath Mage. Immortal Magneto will be getting rid of a Death Prophet and a Bat, so Void, Brew, Tide, Jakiro, E.T., Venge, all these heroes and more are going to be making it through into the pool, and we'll see exactly where Immortal Magneto's priorities lie as we head in here. There's also the Ogre, I would say, as well, a very popular support pick at the moment, so could even see him in these early few phases, and honestly, going off what we've seen so far tonight, we could really see anything out of either team. We've seen some Naga Siren, we've seen some ET, we've seen some Ember Spirit, we've seen some Slark, we've seen a little bit of Ancient Apparition, we've seen some Necrophos, we've seen really a very wide spectrum, or a very good slice of the overall hero pool, and looking forward to seeing if we can add a couple more to that list as we make our way into this game. And I'm gonna check that everybody is still connected as this pick time starts to tick down a little bit. But it does end up being the Ogre for Immortal Magneto. Invictus Gaming wastes no time. They will snag themselves a Brewmaster and an Ember Spirit right off the bat. So we're gonna be treated to either a Ferrari Brewmaster or a Ferrari Ember Spirit this game. I am definitely not unhappy with either of those two choices, and the answer from Immortal Magneto is going to be to go for the Faceless Void. Some teams do like Faceless Void against Ember Spirit. The difficulty can be locking him down. If you don't, so there are kind of two ways to do it. Either you have an initial stun, or you catch him completely off guard, or you wait until he Sleight of Fists a creep wave, and then you drop the Chronosphere right on top of where the Sleight of Fist is coming back to. And in that case, I don't think the Ember Spirit has enough time to be able to Remnant away, even if he has a Remnant waiting back behind. But outside of that, it can be a little bit difficult to Chrono the Ember. So we'll see what Immortal Magneto are able to do here. This does weaken their tri-lane potentially as well if the Faceless Void is going to be safe, since they will have a double melee defensive tri-lane, though I don't know if IG are going to be looking to exploit that. They could either run the Brewmaster in the tri-lane, which is something that some teams are willing to do, or they could run Brewmaster solo safe, put the Ember Spirit on mid, and still assemble themselves a very capable aggressive tri-lane. Though Faceless Void and Ogre are both pretty difficult to kill and can kind of hold their own in a tri-v-tri, despite the fact that they are melee. So IG maybe gonna be taking things a little bit more defensively here, and maybe just looking for some roaming supports. We've got a Tidehunter, interestingly enough, banned out. I think IG are still looking for their offlaner, but yes, I think some support bans definitely make a lot of sense here, since they've gone for 2 cores as their opening picks. We've got an Invoker banned out for Invictus Gaming, showing a lot of respect to how disruptive a Quaswex Invoker can be to a Brewmaster in the early game. It's the perfect setup to be able to find kills on him on the middle lane. Tornado gets your supports in range to do things. The EMP is a huge nuisance until you get your BKB. The Cold Snap now, especially with the changes to the ultimate animation, make it pretty much impossible for Brewmaster to get off a Primal Split. So for all of these reasons, I think if you're picking Brewmaster, you do need to be banning the Invoker if the opposing team has a capable Quaswex Invoker player. And I think Immortal Magneto are going to be kicking themselves a little bit for banning the Ancient Apparition instead of banning the Venge. There isn't a ton of synergy between the Ancient Apparition and the Brewmaster Ember. It's nice for pickoffs, but you know, it's kind of take it or leave it. Looks like looks like IG thought that the Ancient Apparition ban was going to lead into a Morphling pick, which they banned out. But yeah, that opens up the way for IG to pick up this Vengeful, and that's going to make life for the Void very difficult. Even if you get the Chronosphere on the Ember, there's going to be an immediate swap. All of the Venge buff between the Wave of Terror and the Vengeance Aura are going to go really nicely with both the Brew and the Ember. Brew is likely going to be going for your Aura-based build, so there's going to be a Vlad's, there's going to be an AC going to work for bonus damage, and as much as Ember Spirit doesn't buy stats-based damage, so he doesn't really benefit from, say, the Vlad's plus damage or the Vengeance Aura plus damage, it's still buffing up that Sleight of Fist that little bit more, and that can still make it pretty scary. So I think the Vengeful Spirit is the perfect pick here for IG, and goes nicely along with the sort of roaming, aggressive, active supports that they've been playing recently. They really seem to like just kind of leaving 3 solo heroes in their lanes, winning their solos, and then coming along with the supports from time to time and just setting up free kills. And when you have a laning situation like that, where the supports can go to any of the 3 lanes and find a kill, it makes it basically impossible to dodge the ganks. The cores on the enemy team cannot live in fear constantly of ganks happening just because the supports are off the map. It's ludicrous. You'll lose, you know, more farm than you would get even getting ganked. So I think it's a pretty nice setup here for IG. Looks like Immortal Magneto are going to go for something a little bit different. I think an off-lane Faceless Void along with a core Troll. So we've got some Bashlord action there. Definitely a nice way to bring down the Ember Spirit. Lots of physical damage. The Silencer, I think, it makes a lot of sense as a pick. Good against the Ember, good against the Brew. Also not too shabby against the Nature's Prophet. It's always worth keeping in mind that if Nature's Prophet is off on the other side of the map, he's likely used his TP scroll to get there. He's counter pushing. If a team fight breaks out and he starts to TP in, you can let him get a good way, let him get a good portion of the way through his teleport, and then just cancel it with global, and he can't possibly attend the fight or throw a Wrath of Nature and contribute at all. So you can kind of reduce the global aspect of the Nature's Prophet a little bit by having the Silencer. And even if he has a TP scroll, it's likely that you're not taking a fight right underneath a tower, and he would have needed to use the global teleport to get in anyway. So it's a little bit of a weird thing, but I think it's always worth pointing out against the Prophet. I'm a prolific Silencer player. I'll say that much. So always fun to point out the little things. But Earthshaker is going to be the ban from Immortal Magneto. Chen, the final pickup for Invictus Gaming, and IM will end up with an Anti-Mage. So they've got a pretty greedy Tricore with a support Silencer. I don't believe that they randomed this final pick. I think they still had a little bit of pick time remaining, but I think they're about to get pushed in, which they don't really have anything against. Anti-Mage can go for a combat-oriented build, but even then I don't think it gets him online all that quickly. The Silencer doesn't have any counter push. The Ogre's got pretty good counter push in Ignite, admittedly, but for that he needs to get up to multicast, and that could be a bit of a problem. And Faceless Void really sucks against push. Actually, Faceless Void just really sucks against Chen. You chrono somebody for a solo kill, Hand of God. You chrono somebody in a team fight, send back.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's definitely not a fun time. Also, Faceless Void in general, weak to push. You drop a Chronosphere, the enemy team picks themselves back up 20 seconds later, Chrono's still on cooldown for 2 minutes, and they take 2 towers back to back. You know, even with the refreshed glyph. Pushing makes life very difficult for Faceless Void. As much as I think Chen is a really awful pick at the moment, I mean, no offense, I love Chen. He's one of my favorite heroes. When I played, you know, when I played team stuff here in Oz, I would pick Chen for myself all the time, but I just don't think he has much of a role at the moment. But looks like Luo's favoring these jungling supports like the Chen and the Enchantress, so he's a little bit old school as well, and we'll see if he can make it work this game. Definitely needs to be very efficient in the jungle, and he's got the opportunity to move around with the Vengeful Spirit, but not only can they move around and set up kills, they can also move around and push down some towers. So the Chen has multiple things that he can accomplish this game, and I think if IG is sticking to their game plan and sticking to their timing, then they should be closing this one out pretty quickly. They're just using the mid-game teamfight and mid-game pickoff power of the Ember Spirit, who has the weirdest power curve in the world. And if we have a second after introductions, I'll maybe talk through that in a sec. So very quickly, over on Immortal Magneto, we have 11 on Troll Warlord. We have Mars C on the Faceless Void. We've got James on the Ogre. We have... I'm gonna have to look over here for this one. So that's Yi Hao Wei on the Silencer, and we've got Wysim on the Anti-Mage. So over on IG, June is going to be handling the offlane Nature's Prophet. I've seen a lot of comments in chat about his MMR over the course of that previous series, so we'll see if people are a little bit more impressed with him this game. We've got Burning, the stand-in for Chuan, handling the mid lane on Brew. We've got Luo on Chen. We've got Ferrari 430 on his signature Ember Spirit. And we've got Chizbug on the Vengeful Spirit. So for those of you wondering where Chuan is, I think he's still in China at the moment, but he's going to be heading off to the Red Bull tournament, or the Red Bull LAN in Seattle in a couple of days' time. So Burning is going to be standing in for IG, I think, for the remainder of at least the group stages of Star Series. And Burning gonna eat some chops here from the Silencer. This is the one interesting thing about Silencer as well. He's actually a very good dual lane mid hero, pretty much for exclusively this reason, that he can stand in the middle of the creep wave and hit you with Glaives of Wisdom. That's pretty much it, but there's nothing that Burning can do to come up here and trade harass or really do anything. So the Silencer is zoning him out, and even if he didn't have double damage, this would still be pretty difficult for Burning to do anything about. Luo is actually going to be pulling his creep across pretty early, sending the Satyr over to mid to try and get some harassment in as he stacks up some camps for later clears. June not successful in keeping the pull camp blocked out, but he has managed to get the lane equilibrium fairly close, and double range creep stacking up as well. So not the best lane control from the AM, and that means level 2, level 3 coming up pretty quickly. Ferrari does have another Searing Chains on bottom lane. Looks like this offlane troll is going to be saying sayonara with one more auto attack. Ferrari grabs that kill. And I think that was also a healing salve used. We've got some action happening on mid as Burning just comes in aggressively with the Drunken Haze. That does still get driven back by the Silencer. Luo keeping an eye on what's happening over there and just at the ready to get another stack down when it's time. So slightly weird lanes out of IMG. They don't really have any hero that's doing anything in the early game. Anti-Mage is just farming. The Void's just gonna farm. Maybe he'll get 1 or 2 pickoffs with Chronosphere, but I think even that is a little bit optimistic. And offlane Troll just has no business. I think he's just gonna be an ult bot this game, unfortunately. Silencer is rotating up towards top, but there's no chance that they pick up this kill. TP down towards bottom lane. They're going to look for a kill into a tower here. Treant summoned up. Troll Warlord has the mischance working for him, but I think right clicks are going to be enough for IG to finish this kill. Chizbug also coming in with the Haze Drone, just for good measure. And June, if he didn't get that experience from the double range creep up on top lane, he wouldn't be level 3. And this push down on bottom lane would not be nearly as easy. So all of these little things in the early game definitely snowballing a little bit. 11 is going to jump in here aggressively and just throw down his axes to try and pull things off, but it's going to take a few more TPs to get IG away from this bottom tower, as Luo did also make his way over here, snagging the centaur out of that big camp, I believe, before he made his way over. Nope, actually, where was the centaur from? Looks like he already cleared that one out. Burning, very grateful for the Silencer leaving the middle lane. Is going to start catching back up on CS, and without the Silencer here, this is actually an awful matchup for the Faceless Void. He can't do anything. He's going to get clapped, he's going to get hazed, he can't trade hits because Brewmaster has his passive. All in all, pretty miserable situation for him. Yeah. Meanwhile, we've also got June getting some pretty good farm up on top. Does get harassed back a little bit here by the anti-mage. Silencer and Ogre looking for a kill, as I think they smoke their way across into the Radiant jungle, but no boots on either of these heroes, and boots already picked up by Chen, so Luo's just going to laugh that one off, and back he goes. A really nice early lead for IG. They're leading by 1k gold, not anywhere significant on experience since they were 4-manning down on bottom lane for a little bit, but they're still finding their farm. The Troll is actually doing surprisingly well. He's 14 and 2. 15 and... well, 15, no, not 14 and 2. 15 and 12. Up against this Ember Spirit who's only 7 and 0. So despite 2 deaths, I think I have to take back what I said earlier. The Ember is actually crushing the hell out of this lane. And they need the Venge and the... yeah, they definitely need the Venge and the Chen to make their way over here and try and turn things around a little bit. This Invis Ogre is scouting out everything that's going on, and he's also stealing some of this experience. I think they're also going to get a kill on the Chen here. 11 comes in. James going to finish off that one, as they also make their way in to try and steal these creeps. Chizbug will do his best to defend. The Tornado's still a little bit annoying as well. Random nuke comes out of the camp. They're going to try and grab as many creeps as they can. June TP's in, wants to try and get some kind of punish. One more right click finishes off James. Ferrari with the perfect combo. Catches both with the chains. Double kill for June. And I think that was all the punish that you could ask for from IG there. So that should pull that net worth lead up just that little bit more. Experience probably going to be closing down a bit as well. Ferrari managing to grab his phase boots, so can do a little bit more down in this safe lane right now. I'm really sorry, guys, about saying that the Troll had no business on this off lane. He actually did way better than I anticipated somehow. So there you go. Primarily physical damage based hero, quite good against Ember Spirit as it turns out. Burning, gonna eat a bash on mid lane, but they're not really gonna do a whole lot. Also worth pointing out that not only did Burning get the Drunken Haze, because it's super annoying against the Faceless Void, but he was anticipating the Silencer maybe sticking around a little bit longer and going for these points in Curse of the Silent, in which case you need the low mana cost ability to be able to just spam out and prevent the Silencer from burning all of your mana. Battle for the 6-minute rune, as Burning does have his bouncy rune snagged away by James there, so Courier's gonna have to make its way out for him for a Bottle Crow. Bottom rune was an illusion grabbed by the VS, just gonna send them in for some casual harassment on mid as the Silencer's actually getting driven all the way back to base. So, IMG actually looking okay on farm. Anti-Mage completely uncontested on top. Troll about to get his level 6 over on bottom lane, so despite Faceless Void not having the best farm, they will have the Troll ultimate ready to go for him to try and find some kills. He's also maxing out the bash just for that purpose, so they can try and get some combo kills going. Luo, level 4, hasn't taken a tier 1 tower, hasn't found a kill. This is unfortunately what the sad story of Chen in this patch. He's not even all that good early, and he's definitely atrocious late game. The Aghanim Scepter upgrade is cute, but Ancient Creeps don't do any damage, so unfortunately that's just the way it goes. We've got a Harpy Stormcrafter for him right now. 11 considers coming back over into the lane, but decides better of it. We've got another gank making its way mid, looking for Burning right now, who's still just farming up towards his Blink Dagger.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ferrari, meanwhile, makes sense that he's just working straight towards his drum. We've actually got the Troll caught out as he tries to make his way back up the hill. So stun plus the Wrath of Nature is going to be enough to find that one. Burning brought down on the middle lane, loses 2 in the bargain as well, but Void is not going to get out of there as the counter gank comes in. Ember Spirit and June TPing their way through. We've actually got the Null Talisman build coming out of June as well, so not really too much late game being built up for IG. Troll Warlord once again in a little bit of trouble, but he pops off the ultimate and now he's coming in for Luo. Only needs one more auto attack to finish that one. Goes melee and looks towards Chizbug, gets the first bash, stick charges, keeping him alive, wants to come in, gets the whirling axis down right now, and from the low ground, Silencer finishes the kill. Burning does come in with the clap, punishes that one. He's got the primal split, but not close enough to do anything with it. Meanwhile, mid lane, Ferrari and June are going to just bang down this tier 1 tower. It's very unusual to see IG only have 1 out of the top 4 on last hits, but they're still up on net worth and they're still up on experience. So as much as Immortal Magneto have been making some really nice rotations and lane swaps and finding some cutesy pickoffs, it's still IG leading the way. And tier 1 tower on bottom lane looks like it's going to fall in short order, so Burning's Blink Dagger coming up before too long. So the Void Chronosphere was dropped on mid lane as they found that kill on Burning. So with that on cooldown and the Primal Split available, that's a huge window of opportunity for IG to exploit right now. And meanwhile, Anti-Mage, pretty standard build up out of him. Just working straight towards his Battle Fury. Still needs a couple of components to go, however. But yeah, weird game. That's for sure. How far away is the Blade Mail for June? He's finished up some treads. How far away is the mech for Luo? He's finished up some Arcane Boots. How far away is the urn for Chizbug? Well, he's picked up some Tranquils. So all of your core pushing items are still going to take a little while longer for IG. I don't even know if you go straight Blade Mail here on the Prophet, though. It looks like he is going for it with the robe. Could also be an Orchid build potentially this game. Pretty good against both the Void and the AM. Ferrari jumping in here on the Troll. Goes melee. Got a TP in from June on the back lines. Troll completely isolated. Trapped up, locked down, killing spree for Ferrari. Everyone else on Immortal Magneto jumping in now. They got the Chronosphere. It's out onto 3, but there's no battle trance. Ferrari looks like he will be brought down here. Hand of God from Luo does absolutely nothing. His teammates are all on full HP. They're now looking for a bash. The Vengeful Spirit is at the ready. There is a swap as well. And buyback from Ferrari. He wants this fight. Faceless Void going to look for the Time Walk over the gap. Can he get it? Now just going for the TP out. Will be nuked down. Chizbug, not enough mana for a swap. Can't bring the Silencer back into the fray, so unfortunately, Ferrari with the buyback not finding too much, but he's still pressing forward aggressively, looking for this kill, does get stunned up, drops the combo. Not looking too healthy. Chizbug gonna take the tower aggro, and looks like they're just gonna send him back. He'll be right as rain, and he'll jump back into the push with the Remnant. Another blink in clap from Birding with the double damager, and they bring down the Troll for the, I don't even know how many times this game, 7th time this game. He is 7 of the 11 deaths of Immortal Magneto right now, but Chronosphere is still on cooldown for 60 seconds, and Primal Split still available, so IG are actually going to continue to press forward here very aggressively. Faceless Void in a little bit of trouble, chain stun down, do they have enough damage to finish him off? Ferrari still chasing forward with the Remnants and finds the kill, anticipating the Time Walk. We've now got the Earth Panda, along with the rest of the Primal Split, chasing down the Silencer, finishing him off, the Tier 3 tower, dropping little by little. It's only 11 minutes into this game, but Immortal Magneto are losing their Tier 3. Troll Warlord's going to come in with the Whirling Axes, trying to do what he can. James also fighting away. Finally has that level 6, so we've got the AoE Ignite coming up soon, but what else can they do? Burning just needs to get his Blink Dagger off cooldown. He's away. Chizbug's fine. June's fine. Anti-Mage does manage to bring down the Tier 1 tower on mid, so they do manage to get at least something out of all of this. Looks like June is going to be caught, isolated, and brought down. So 2 more int to the pile for the Silencer, and some sort of turnaround for IMG after losing that Tier 3. Does give them the opportunity to get their cooldowns back up, so could see another Chronosphere pickoff. Worth noting, of course, that Ferrari did buy back after that last Chrono, so they even expedited the process a little bit of picking themselves up and getting going. That does slow down the Embers farm a bit, but he's just going for, looks like he's just going for the Manta style build anyway, taking full advantage of the mid-game team fight. Meanwhile, AM only a couple hundred gold away from his Battle Fury. Looks like it is going to be your Orchid build out of June, trying to rush that one up before the AM gets his Manta style online. Honestly, it might not even be too bad a BKB game for the AM. Just go BKB Basher and just run into the fights. Nature's Prophet can't do anything about you. Brewmaster can't really do anything about you. Tread and Venge, yeah, can't really do a whole lot. So I really would not mind seeing a maybe early Yasha BKB or BKB Basher, something like that out of the anti-mage here. If the game drags, they've got Void, they've got Troll, they've got AM. I think they've got the late game, but they just have to get there first. June, first Oblivion staff up, some more split push pressure on top lane, looking for this final tier 1 tower. Battle Fury's up. Vision for Immortal Magneto actually looking pretty good. They've got some nice wards down around the place, keeping an eye on things. Radiant wards quite aggressively positioned, and only the one of them on the map right now is IG is still trying to finish up some items. Does Lua have his mech complete? No, we've got some magic wand shenanigans going on. Okay, so the mech is actually complete. And that one's going to be shipped out. Burning's going to have to go back to base for his wand, unfortunately. And are IG really just going to look for the laner axe here? Is that at all a good decision? There's still a tier 1 top. There's still a tier 2 mid. And you are fighting into Chronosphere and now the global silence. So it's actually going to be Immortal Magneto smoking out. They see that June is over at mid lane again. That global is going to prevent him from joining this next fight, Anti-Mage. Pressuring top lane, trying to get some TPs out. They've Chronosphered Ferrari. In comes the global, focusing him down for now. The mech keeps him alive for a little bit longer, but it's not enough. Burning jumps in, drops the clap. Can he get the primal split off? He's getting mana voided. He's getting mana burned. He does manage to just get the split off. Little bit of help there from the Chen as well. Blink away from the Anti-Mage. They just have to evade this split for as long as possible. They lift him up into the air, but his blink has now cooled down. I don't think they have any more lockdown. They lob the stun, but the blink gets him away. A little bit further down, June is fighting against both of the supports. He's going to be brought down by the silencer inside the base. Mars SC turns on the Mask of Madness and starts to go to work. Chizbug's going to be sent back, lobs one more stun. Luo looking for the micro, just going to try and finish things off with the creeps here. Does need some frost armor, and looks like Silencer's coming in to steal some of his int. Out comes the auto attacks with the battle trance, and Luo will fall. IG invest pretty much everything that they have into that team fight. It might not be over just yet. Chizbug got sent back. He's TP'd back down to bottom lane, but no, that's all she wrote. Silencer's backing off. Ogre's still fine, and beautifully executed fight from IMG. They got the Nature's Prophet to come top, where he couldn't get into the fight because of the global silence. They focused down Ferrari so that he couldn't make full use of his kit during that one, and stopped IG from ever getting close to this lane of Rax. And at this stage, the game may already be turned. Net worth and experience both moving in a pretty dangerous direction. Immortal Magneto really picking up some steam. This Anti-Mage is getting completely out of control, and there's no real answers for him on the IG side right now. Yes, June is getting close to his Orchid, but I don't know if it's gonna race out this Manta style by just a little bit, but 1 or 2 deaths for the Anti-Mage is not going to be all that significant. I mean, IG are on the precipice. If they win one more fight, they can take these tier 2s, and then they can win one more fight and take the base, but things are going to start getting more difficult as the Chronosphere starts to notch up in levels. The Troll Warlord starts to find a little bit of farm here and there. I have no idea why he has power treads, by the way. I think phase boots are 100% core on Troll, but I guess he's just looking for some cheap survivability at the moment. And, well, Chrono's up. They're looking for the smoke. Immortal Magneto taking the fight to IG, not letting them get close to objectives, not letting them use the swap in an orderly fashion, and yeah, they've also got the global silence up, so no reason not to be looking for pickoffs right now. Got some good treant scouting coming out of June as he makes his way down over onto the Radiant jungle to try and finish up this Orchid. And Immortal Magneto will come up empty-handed, at least for now, as they go for that 4 or 5 hero smoke. But there's farm waiting for them, and IG looking somewhat hesitant to make a move. They have smoked up, Remnant waiting behind for Ferrari. Spot a couple of heroes on mid. Looks like it might be the 9th death of the game for the Troll Warlord. The Primal Split comes out immediately. They need this kill. They've got the jump in from the side. Ember Spirit finds that one. Nice lift forward. The Storm Spirit looking for more. They've lifted the Ogre into the air. The Boulder Toss is at the ready. TP in from June. James will be next to fall. Silencer isolated onto the side. Gonna look for the TP out. Do we have any way to cancel this one? Chizbug not in range for the swap, unfortunately. Won't be able to get it. But is 2 pickoffs enough? 15 seconds on Troll, 20 seconds on Ogre, Anti-Mage, pounding away at this tier 1 tower on top. Yasha already completed and just looking for the Manta stall right now.
Dire's middle tower is
Burning
under
will leave his team to secure this tier 2, but he's backed off to hold on to the tier 1 and signaling to Immortal Magneto that they have no interest in forcing their way up out of the high ground right now. I think IG realizing that trying to force bottom racks was just a terrible idea at the time that they did it, and gonna back off, grab a couple more relevant items, and then maybe re-engage and try to finish the game. Net worth will once again take a swing up in the Radiant direction as experience just peeks its head over the 0 line. The game continues to be very back and forth, and small but very significant items coming up all over the place. Burning's almost got his Vlads completed. We've got the Faceless Void working towards a Maelstrom. Troll Warlord going for what looks like a BKB. Makes a lot of sense. He's just getting blown the hell up in every single fight at the moment. And Ogre, well, we're not really expecting him to have too much farm. Anti-Mage, however, just the ultimate orb away from having his Manta Stall completed, and they're going to jump into the pit with the Troll ultimate. Looks like this train is going to scout it out, but will it be fast enough? They've got some Chain Bash going down, along with some very good right-click damage. Chizbug wants to try and do something about this if he can, but he's a little bit far out. Does have a Force Staff to get away to safety here. There's some Chen creeps in the vicinity as well. Chen creeps coming in, Global Silence used. Roshan has fallen, but Burning now has an opening. We're going to try and bring down the Troll Warlord. He makes his way into the pit. Chronosphere gets dropped. Can they burn all of Burning's mana in time? Lua walks into the edge of the Chronosphere. Needed to get the Hand of God off. Needed to get the mech off. Burning goes down. They do still manage to expend the Aegis Anti-Mage. Can they stomp or do anything to him in time? It's the Searing Chains that keeps him locked in position. Ferrari salvaging that fight at the end of the day. Lua just... That was not good. In fairness, he's Chen. He's got creeps to micro. It's tough. He wanted to get in range at the very edge of the chrono to try and use the mech, but... Also, why is he buying Vlads? Brewmaster has Vlads. You don't need Vlads. Buy a Force Staff. Buy a pipe. Buy an Aghanim Scepter. Buy a Necrobook. But don't buy a Vlads. So Lua looks like the new addition to the team being Burning is there's still some gaps to be filled in terms of communication here. Anyway, Ferrari has his Yasha up, still working on that Manta. I mean, well, speaking of Manta style, Anti-Mage still a ways away after that double death over in the pit. Faceless Void also delayed a little bit on the Maelstrom, but racks are still up for Immortal Magneto, and that's all they can hope for right now. 30 seconds until the next Chronosphere. This is actually a pretty big window for IG as they push up onto the high ground. They've got their Primal Split ready. It looks like it might be once again the Troll Warlord blown the heck up. Burning jumps in aggressively, gets the clap on the 2. Out come the Pandas, lifting one into the air. It's the Faceless Void isolated. Troll Warlord next on the chopping block. No Chronosphere to counter initiate. The silence actually comes out, and now it's Mar SC who's in some trouble. Faceless Void cleaned up by the Chen nuke, and back for the racks. IG will go. Double Vlad's going to work. They bring down the melee barracks, swinging over towards mid lane. Grateful that they've actually taken the tier 2 tower down now as they look for another. Faceless Void's still dead for a little while. Do we have dire buybacks available? It's pretty much just the Anti-Mage and the Troll right now. Tier 3 down, 20 seconds to go. Troll up in 10. What can they do here? Silencer just needs to sit on the side. Can't afford to waste the Global Silence. They need it to potentially hold this last line of racks, but I don't even know if IG are going to end up going for it. They can just back out. No consequences right now. Ferrari's still looking for kills. He's still threatening. Trying to get some more spells blown, but no dice. June trying to anticipate the Anti-Mage blink, but not going to find him. They do know that he's actually up over by the Ancients, but they can't really do anything about him. Except Burning can steal his creep. So I've got the Manta for the Ember, and we've only got one lane of racks left to push for IG. Immortal Magneto that time around kind of caught with their pants down, and I guess that the Force Staff forward stun on the Anti-Mage. Can they kill him here? They've got the Orchid. June TP's in at just the right time, and the split pushing Menace will be put in his grave. IG even finding this top lane in a pretty good position to potentially push in. And after all of that, I think you have to wonder if going for Roshan was just a huge mistake. on Immortal Magneto's part. That fight only went well because Lua walked into the Chronosphere, and using the Chrono to not defend the base meant that IG could just push straight in. So, yeah, I guess you have to call it the wrong call to make. And now they've got 15 seconds for Anti-Mage to respawn. They have to hold this lane of racks, or the game is just straight up over. Faceless Void doesn't even have a TP scroll. He's just hitting Ancients. I think he might have. Okay, never mind. He's getting items delivered. He's got the TP scroll. The courier was coming in. It's not all doom and gloom. I was about to say I think maybe the Void has given up, but not the case. He's gonna jump and he drops the Chrono. It's on Ferrari. They've used the global, but there's a send back as well. Is it fast enough? It's not. Ferrari is down. Burning jumps in aggressively, but he's still silenced. Defensive swap from Chizbug, keeping the Brewmaster alive. Out comes the mech and the Hand of God. Burning is not gonna die this time around. And now James and Silencer both forced back. 11 fighting off some creeps, but the tier 3 is down. June just looking for an Orchid target in a couple of seconds. He gets the Sprout out. They bring down the Ogre Magi. Burning jumping forward with another clap. Looking for one more right click. Gets the crit. Unnecessary, but completely blows up the Silencer. And out come the buybacks. Immortal Magneto. This is their last stand. June with another silence. Summons up some trans. Just right clicking away. Accepting his fate. We've got another stun on the Troll Warlord. It's going to be his 11th death of the game. His BKB is finally completed, but it's only used for retreat as the melee barracks get slowly plinked away at. Even the Earth Brilling coming over to help out a little bit. Chizbug right-clicking away. Troll Warlord. What can you do here? You can only go all in. You're going to lose your final lane of racks. Burning backing off. Tier 4 towers under siege by the racks creeps. It looks like Immortal Magneto will hold on, at least for now, but at this point IG can just start throwing bodies at buildings, and I think it's over. Ferrari's already back up and kicking. 10k the net worth lead, 4k the experience lead, and this greedy draft coming back to bite Immortal Magneto in the butt. 11's looks like he's gonna end the game with 11 deaths to his name here. Mara SC jumping in aggressively. They're looking for Ferrari. 4 steps, not going to get him away. Is there a mech? He's got the Manta style, but it doesn't get him out of the Silencer last word. Meanwhile, June has TP'd in to finish up Mega Creeps. Objective-based gaming, as always. Faceless Void clearing up some more creeps, but at this stage, they can't really fight anything. Burning comes in. One more crit, reminding Silencer of who's boss. And looks like that is going to be that. Probably a 26-minute GG coming out. Buyback from Ferrari. Immortal Magneto are not going to go down without a fight, but there was a haze on the Void, and so he can't even really do anything to Burning. Now the Mask of Madness actually going to be his undoing as Chizbug finishes it off with the right click, blinks himself at the safety. Buyback from the Faceless Void as Immortal Magneto come out for their last stand against these Mega Creeps, but the GG has been called, and IG will finally claim their first win of the group stage, bringing them up to a 1-2 overall score. And unfortunately, I think that's Immortal Magneto pretty much sent packing with a 1-4 overall scoreline, with still Lai and LGD to play, both of which are teams who have done pretty well up until this stage in the competition. So guys, that wraps it up for Starladder China group stage coverage for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Basskip. It was great having you all along for the ride here on Beyond the Summit. If you'd like to support me at all, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, all under the name of Basskip. If you have any feedback, please feel free to email me at basskipdota@gmail.com. Otherwise, message me on Twitch or whatever's convenient for you. I'd love to hear from you guys. If there's anything that I can do for you in the cast, please do not hesitate to ask. Not 100% sure when I'll be back, but again, social media, yada yada yada. Don't forget to support the stream. Follow it if you enjoyed. VOD should be up shortly as well if you missed any of the matches from tonight. So thank you very much, and I'll hope to see you soon for some more Dota action. If you're still keen on some Dota, I believe we've got some Star Series Europe about to kick off in about 30 minutes time. So some good matches coming up there. Otherwise, there's Battle for Central Europe coming up in about an hour as well, and there may even be some Starladder Southeast Asia still going on at the moment over on Dota Starladder _EN. So thank you very much, guys, and I will hopefully see you next time.